Yo, what's going on guys, Arekkz here and welcome to my very first For Honor character guide. I am absolutely loving this game right now. I played a ton of the closed beta a couple of weeks back, of course the open beta this past weekend, and I've even had the opportunity to play it at a few events last year, like E3 and Gamescom. So I've had a fair bit of time with the game, but seeing as it launches next week, I thought it was about time I turn my hand to something useful for you guys. So today we're going to be talking about the Peacekeeper, one of my favourite characters to play as right now. So if you do enjoy this video, you did find it helpful, and more importantly, if you'd like to see more character guides like this, then a like would be super appreciated. It's a good way for me to know that you guys want more, and also comment down below, let me know your thoughts, and let me know what character you'd like me to cover next. Now to begin with, we're going to start with a very quick recap of all Peacekeeper's moves and abilities to ensure everyone is on the same page, and then we'll talk a little bit about this character's playstyle and how you should be looking to play them in order to get the most out of them. Peacekeeper belongs to the Knights faction. She is an assassin that wields twin blades and is also one of the exclusively female characters. In terms of difficulty, she falls under the medium category, not quite as hard as the likes of say Orochi or Berserker, but also not quite as pick up and play as say the Warden, Raider or Kensei. Now first up, unlike some of the easier characters, Peacekeeper has what is known as a defense reflex. With this, your guard only remains active for a short time, so you'll notice if I push to guard in a particular direction, the marker that indicates the direction I'm facing also begins to deplete. So if I attempt to continually block incoming attacks like some other characters can do simply by holding that direction, it won't be long before my guard is broken. So in order to manage this, you either need to refresh your input after each successful guard by pushing that direction again, or you instead take advantage of something the assassin characters are known for, and that's their ability to deflect. Deflect is similar to parry, only a little bit safer in my opinion, because if you mess up the timing, you'll just end up dodging instead of getting hit. In order to deflect an attack, you simply dodge in the direction of the incoming attack just before it hits you. When done right, this will happen, and you can then typically use this as a means to follow up with an unblockable attack. This is something you must master if you want to successfully use this character. Now we'll speak a little bit more about hero specifics in a moment, but for now let's talk about moves. I play with a controller, so if you're mouse and keyboard, then just swap the inputs for your relevant keys. But first up, you have Twisting Blades. This is a basic chain attack performed with 2 light attacks followed by a heavy. So for controller, RB, RB, RT. Your second chain attack is Dervish Strikes. This is shorter than Twisting Blades and is just a simple light followed by a heavy, so RB, RT. And of course, you're going to jump between these depending on your openings. Most people are pretty good at reading attacks these days, so you won't always be fortunate enough to get, say, 2 attacks in, so you're much better off to get shorter attacks in to make sure you can confirm the hit, than try and get in a lengthier combo and leave yourself open. Your third and final chain attack is Sword Dance. This is 2 consecutive heavy attacks, so RT, RT. However, interesting thing to note here is that Peacekeeper has what is known as Dagger Cancel. This allows you to cancel any heavy attack during startup simply by inputting a light attack. And this doesn't just apply in Sword Dance, this applies to any time you use a heavy attack. If you press light attack, RB, during the very beginning of the animation, you'll notice that this happens. This is a cancel. This is good for a number of reasons, either to fake out your opponent, make them think that you're going for a heavy attack only to cancel it and then go into something else, or if you begin a heavy knowing that you're about to be hit, you can then cancel that and rethink your options. After that, you then have Slipping Lunge. This is going to be one of your 2 openers for this character. Whilst not guarding, if you sprint towards your enemy and you press X or guard break, you will then run in and grab them. This can then be followed by a stab, a throw, or a regular heavy attack, depending on your preference. It's also a little bit different to the more predictable opener that is Dashing Thrust, which is performed whilst locked on or in guard mode as it's known. To do this, you press forward and A to dodge, and whilst moving, you press RT or heavy attack. Now the timing for this will take some getting used to. If you press RT too late, you'll just roll past your enemy. So the correct practice for this is to directly follow your dodge input with a heavy attack. So instead of it being, say, forward A, pause, RT, it is forward A, RT. Done correctly, it'll look like this. This is, however, a pretty obvious move to see, so people can dodge it with a simple sidestep, so try to use it sparingly lest you want to be left open. There's also another version of this, Sidestep Strike, exactly the same principle, only instead of dashing forward, you input a sidestep direction, either left or right, A and then heavy. It's also important to note that you can follow either of these attacks, Dashing Thrust or Sidestep Strike, with a light attack at the end to apply a bleed, which leads me nicely on to the next set of moves. The final 3 moves, and one of the reasons you have likely chosen this character, are bleed moves. Bleed in For Honor will mark a portion of your opponent's health in red, and this will gradually deplete over time. If the red portion makes up the remainder of their health bar, then you can simply stand there and watch them bleed out. However, if they kill someone with an execution and get health back, or pick up a health pack if they're playing Dominion or 4v4, then they can of course circumvent this. You have 3 options for bleed. Firstly, if you input a light attack directly after a heavy attack, you'll apply a bleed, hence why throwing a light attack on the end of those sidesteps results in a bleed. Note that in this instance, the heavy attack must land. If it's blocked, it will not count. Alternatively, following a guard break grab like this, you can then press light attack, RB, up to 3 times to stab the opponent. Again, the timing on this will take some getting used to. If you just spam light attack following a guard break, you will likely only ever end up getting out 1 stab. So you need to pace your inputs. Get it right and you'll land 3 stabs like this. So if you're having trouble, slow down your inputs, don't just sit there and spam the button. Also worth noting that at any point following a stab like this, you can press X to back away or throw your opponent. So if you're fighting on a ledge, you might use this to your advantage, or if you're getting low on stamina and you want to put some distance between you and your opponent, then getting out early might be advantageous. Your final option for bleed directly follows a deflect. This is your riposting stab. Input a light attack following a successful deflect and you'll make the opponent bleed. This is also an unblockable move, so provided you get the deflect in, this is a guaranteed hit. Now those are all your moves. A couple of other things to note though, you can also cancel any zone attacks or heavy attacks by pressing B, similar to dagger cancel using light attacks early. And with regards to your revenge mode for Peacekeeper, when in this state this boosts your damage and your health, all of your attacks are uninterruptible, parry and throws will knock down enemies, and attacks are also auto parried on activation. So, with all the basics out of the way, what else do you need to know about Peacekeeper? Well, as mentioned earlier, she will take a while to get used to. She's definitely one of the harder characters to master. Agility is definitely on her side, but if you struggle with your parry or your deflect timings, then you're really going to suffer. One of the bonuses for this character, however, partly to make up for her weak blocking ability, is that when in neutral stance, her attack direction is not visible to opponents. This means your opponent won't know which direction to block until the Peacekeeper actually begins her attack, thus giving you a bit of an edge. In order to get the best results with this character, you really need to use your agility to your advantage. You are weaker at range, so if you let someone like Nobushi, Warden, or even Kensei use their range to their advantage, you are going to struggle. Rushing an opponent down, dishing out fast attacks, and applying a bleed where possible is how you'll win your fights. I cannot stress enough how important it is to practice your deflect, because once you master this, you'll be a genuine force to be reckoned with. And that, my friends, is pretty much it for my Peacekeeper guide. Those are the moves, some of the intricacies of the character, and some of the tips for using them in combat. If you guys have any questions, by all means post them down below, and again, if you want to see more of these, then similarly let me know. But until next time, thank you for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.